A government minister defends a decision to increase marriage license fees. A number of St. Peter residents honored as we gathering celebrations continue in that parish. And in sports, Bangladesh upset India to win their first ICC Under-19 World Cup title.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thanks for joining us. We start tonight with a call for the Caribbean Development Bank to help engage the youth in Barbados and the region. It's coming from Prime Minister Mia Motley, who was speaking just moments ago during a Thanksgiving service to mark the bank's 50th anniversary. Ms. Motley says securing the passion and commitment of the region's young people is critical as the institution charts a way forward.
I don't want to hear our voices. Perhaps I might say that I don't want to see the grey in our hair. But I want to hear honestly the voices of those under 25, because they are the ones who must have the passion and who must have the commitment and who must have the vision to take us to the next stage.
Meanwhile, with 1 in 5 people in the region living in poverty, CDB President Dr. Warren Smith says this will be a major focus of the bank's new strategic plan.
In December 2019, our board of directors approved the bank's strategic plan covering the period 2020 to 2024. This plan defines a new business model for CDB and provides a sound platform to keep our institution at the center of the region's social and economic transformation. I can assure you that we will be seeking to better support our region's push to reduce poverty in a fair, inclusive, and sustainable manner as we also close in one of the ambitions set out in Agenda 2030 and its associated sustainable development goals.
Home Affairs Minister Edmund Hinkson has defended the government's decision to increase marriage license fees. Speaking at the Wim Village Ecumenical Church service, he noted the fees had been unchanged for over 25 years prior to the adjustment.
The $45 that the marriage fee was just before the increase to now, yes, $225. That is true. What was what I paid 29 years ago? Well, I remember that. The fee had not been raised for 29 years. And the reality is that to survive as a country, we do have to increase, we have to re-examine the fees offered for services by the public. And, you know, for us to survive, we have to look at the real cost. If not, we will find that we will be paying more income tax, and we have reduced income tax.
Meanwhile, in his message, Reverend James Bend told St. Peter residents to value that parish's rich heritage. He says apart from producing well-known national leaders and figures, the parish can boast of low crime levels and a strong foundation in education.
We have a heritage, we have a goodly heritage. Not only of a secure environment, but of a sound education. We celebrate our educators. I think of Dottin at Black Bess. Anybody from Black Bess? Big Dottin from Black Bess. I think of Vaughan at All Saints, a legend. I think of Marvell and Spikestown. I think of Paris, Alma Paris at Indian Ground, and your own Sybil Leacock. I mean, these are giants. We have a sound heritage. We have a heritage of sound education.
And as St. Peter continues to host the We Gathering celebrations, the WIM has publicly honored 5 of its current and former residents. Our Rianne Phillips tells us more.
The 5 have been honored for being stars of the WIM community. They are former registrar of the CSC, Mr. Glenroy Cumberbatch, founder of LNN Workshop, Mr. Norman Edwards, principal of the Government Industrial School, Mr. Irwin Leacock, founder of the Leacock's Private School, Mrs. Sybil Leacock, and retired primary school principal, Mrs. Beverly Paris. Mr. Cumberbatch and Mrs. Leacock were honored in absentia. The others credited fellow citizens and family for their successes.
I've served 46 years in government. and I'm going to break the news to you first. I'm coming home. Yes. This is a decision I put off a couple of times. Actually, my staff tore up the last application, but I'm coming home. You can leave the VIM, but the VIM can never leave you.
I'm deeply honored to be awarded this. I'm very humble because when I look back at people who before me, like Sylvester Walker, then Phil Walker, and those people who gone to the other side, the great beyond. These were pioneers in entrepreneurship, especially in VIM.
I'm deeply appreciative and very humble at having received this award. I stayed in education this long because of one lady, the matriarch of the WIP, Mrs. Sybil Leacock. 9 months into teaching, I wrote my resignation, took it to Aunt Sil to have it reviewed to make sure that all the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted. She tore it up and told me, she was referring to the head teacher at the time, she is going and you're coming, go back where you were.
Erwin Leacock also said a few words on behalf of his mother and fellow honoree, Mrs. Sybil Leacock.
My mother's body is ill. There is nothing wrong with my mother's mouth or her brain. I am honored to receive this on her behalf. She couldn't be here this morning. And my mother is a very strong character.
The awards ceremony marks the start of the WIM week of activities for regathering. However, organizers are hoping to make it an annual event. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Since its inception over 3 decades ago, the Erdiston Teachers Training College continuing education program has seen significant growth. And according to officials, Barbadians can expect to see even more from the institution in the near future. Lorna Jones tells us more.
Barbadians looking to further their personal and professional development may soon find it much easier to do so. Principal of the Erdiston Teachers Training College, Dr. Patricia Saul, has revealed the institution will offer some of its continuing education courses online in the near future. She made the revelation at the graduation ceremony for the 2018-2019 class of the Division of Continuing Education.
We have already trained a cadre of full-time staff in practices for teaching in the online environment. And it is our hope to expand this training to our part-time staff so that some of our continuing education courses can be accessed online.
Chairman of the Board of Management, Dr. Sylvia Henry, has challenged the college to establish an Erdiston Continuing Education Center.
Offering formal continuing education credits that can be articulated across the tertiary landscape at other institutions, as well as even CVQ employment certification.
Meanwhile, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Dr. Ramel Springer, notes that undertaking continuing education opportunities can offer Barbadians significant benefits.
Increased chance for promotion, increased salary, a greater ability to make a career transition, improved marketability, improved lifestyle, and improved personal development.
The 2018-2019 class was made up of 256 females and 7 males, and almost 95% successfully completed the course. Lorna Jones, CBC News.
Thanks, Lorna. Over to Trinidad and Tobago now, where two-time Calypso monarch Michael Osuna, better known as Sugar Aloes, is unhappy with the judging process in that competition. He's therefore decided he will not be competing this year.
Very dissatisfied with the judges and their behavioral pattern, especially last year. You know, we're looking at originality and we're looking at melody and things like that. And I feel my Super G was deserving a spot in the finals. And what they did, they had about 3 different Super G. And they chose the one with an old melody, Tell Laura I Love Her, Tell Gary we love him. Tell Gary we need no man.
And it appears it's not only sugar aloes. Both Skatey and the Pink Panther say they too are also staying away. Pink Panther explained that rule changes are what prompted him to sit out. But Aloes asserts there are particular issues with the judging.
I believe they want to create a phase to push us old ones out for the younger ones. But the younger ones, they bring nothing to the table.
But for those who are in fact competing, the judges seem to have their work cut out.